This is our very first episode of 2025, if you can believe it. I know we're halfway through January, but with a little bit of snow and our office being closed with NCAA convention, it's the first time I've been able to sit down and get one of these rolling. But I'm super excited because we have a very special guest on, Izzy Rammel from Walsh University. She's a senior cross-country track and field student athlete, but she's also heavily involved in SAC. I'm not going to give too much away because I'm going to let her introduce herself, but Walsh recently was awarded a really special award, something that has really become an annual thing for them, and we're excited that has been the case. But wanted to have her on to talk a little bit about the initiative that the Cavs and the Walsh SAC have started, and I think it's a really cool way for them to give back to the community. But Izzy, thanks so much for taking some time to jump on with us. I'll give you the opportunity to tell our listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself and about your involvement with Walsh SAC.
Sure, thanks, Katie, which I know you're an original Walsh girl. Love to see it. But anyway, yeah, so like she said, I'm a senior on the cross country and track team and have just loved my 4 years at Walsh. I'm actually a pre-law student, so I'm finishing up my bachelor's in political science, which we call government and foreign affairs and theology, and will be attending law school this fall in 2025, which feels crazy to say. So still waiting to decide on my actual school, but I'm really excited for like the next 3 years of schooling and everything. But undergrad and getting to compete and get involved with like my campus has been really, really special. So yeah, I'm actually not from the area originally. I'm from down by Dayton. So Walsh has been very welcoming.
Well, tell everyone a little bit about your involvement with Walsh SAC and what you serve and kind of what Walsh SAC is all about.
Sure. So I started in SAC my sophomore year and was just like a member. We had a lot of people on the cross country team. I thought it was really special that they didn't just have like one rep, you could have multiple reps. So I was able to get involved with events. I was elected vice president for my junior year, and our president was another member of the cross country team, Anthony Toskin, who's now over at Carnegie, but still is able to help me out with some of the like day-to-day stuff with SAC and everything, which I appreciate. So we were able to start coordinating more events, start some initiatives, really have some continuity within our board. But this year, we've really picked up a lot of momentum with SAC. I got to take on the president role for my senior year, and we had pretty much a whole new board, a few people elevated positions, but everybody's been really involved. We changed the structure of some stuff, so our engagement for events from our SAC has been higher than ever. We've been able to implement some pretty cool initiatives and some new events that have had pretty good turnout. So overall, it's been a great year so far. And then even this week, it's a pretty big SAC week with our Coin Wars versus Malone, just to shout that out. So looking forward to having a face down with their SAC tomorrow.
What are some of the events that you guys have been able to implement this year with SAC to not only get student athletes and students involved on campus, but in the community as well?
Sure. So we have our heavy hitters every year and have been focused obviously on like increasing our involvement with our big events that are recurring. So we had our trunk or treat event and we had called Boo at the Woo. So we had teams out on the field and we had like over 1,000 trick-or-treaters come through from the community, which was really special, and getting to meet with the athletes and stuff. We have a continuing program with some of the local elementary schools, both fierce females and just athletes in action. So we have students going over to either play with kids at recess or engage in the classroom with the community, and have just like loved those experiences. We do our adoptive family for Christmas every year, and we're just overwhelmed by the amount of gifts we were able to bestow on our family this year, which was really special. It also helps that we have a few new sports thrown into the mix with our women and men's rugby team. So those are our like heavy hitting events that we've had in the past that have gone super well, but we've also implemented a few new events. We did a home run derby that was kind of run by our softball and baseball teams, and we're able to raise money for a local veterans organization over in Louisville. So that was pretty cool to be able to do a fundraising event to give back to the actual community who's showing up to our games.